In the heart of Ukambani, Kenya, lies the small quiet town of Mwala. The sun is always hot here, and the land stretches for miles, dry and cracked. At night, the air cools, but it's never completely quiet. In Mwala, the stories of old live on in the whispers of the wind and the shadows of the hills. There is one story that the people of Mwala speak about in hushed tones. It's about a woman named Modeu, who lived alone on the edge of town, near the old riverbed. Modeu didn't mix with the others. She kept to herself, never attending village gatherings or festivals. She had no children, no family nearby. Her small, simple hut stood in isolation, surrounded by thick bushes, and no one dared to venture near it. People said Modeu was different. Some called her a healer, a wise woman who could cure sickness with herbs and roots, but others were afraid of her. They whispered that she was a witch, a woman who could speak to the spirits and control the forces of nature. Strange things were happening in the village. Cattle falling sick, crops drying up, and children disappearing without explanation. People started to believe that Modeu had something to do with it. Some even said she had powers that could bend the very earth to her will. One evening, a young man named Kilonzo decided to find out the truth for himself. His family had been struggling with bad harvests, and his cattle were weak. Desperation had built in him, and he could no longer sit by and wonder if Modeu had something to do with it. He decided to visit her and ask her directly. As the sun dipped behind the hills, Kilonzo made his way towards Modeu's home. The path was familiar, but that evening it seemed longer, and the wind felt colder than usual. When he reached her hut, the door creaked open, and there she stood. Her eyes were dark, her face unreadable. Without a word, she stepped aside and gestured for him to come in. Kilonzo entered, and the air inside the hut was thick with an unfamiliar smell. Modeu didn't say much at first. She simply listened as Kilonzo spoke about his troubles, his failing crops, his sick cattle, and the fear that something dark was watching over the village. Finally, Modeu spoke. She told him the land was angry. She said the spirits were restless and needed to be respected. The earth, she said, was not something to be taken lightly. Kilonzo tried to leave, but as he stepped outside, the world around him had changed. The path back to the village was no longer familiar. The trees seemed to whisper to him, and the wind carried voices he couldn't understand. Kilonzo felt a chill run down his spine. It was as if the land itself had trapped him. When Kilonzo finally made his way back to the village, he was not the same. His eyes were distant, his voice hollow. He no longer spoke of Modeu or the spirits, but everyone could tell something had changed. The wind had whispered something to him, something he could never explain. Some say Kilonzo now wanders the hills at night, calling out to the spirits, lost in the same dark silence that took him that evening. And so, the story of Modeu, the woman who spoke to the spirits, remains in Mwala. If you ever find yourself walking the path at night, when the wind blows through the trees and the shadows grow long, listen carefully. You might hear Kilonzo's voice, still lost, still calling to the spirits of the land, or you might feel a cold breeze that tells you the earth remembers and it doesn't forget. The land of Ukambani holds many secrets, and Mwala is no exception. Some stories once told are never truly gone.